Welcome to the Bubba Army YouTube channel.
Blitz, I got to go into words, but wait till you hear. If you don't know about this, can you try not to act like a know-it-all?
Okay.
And just truly say.
I already don't know about it.
No, I know. But I'm going to bring something up about the way news is gathered nowadays. Now,
Okay.
everything in life has turned into a pay-per-view deal. For instance, back in the day when you used to be a real good race car driver like Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon and Clint Boyer and all these guys, you know, somebody would discover you at a Saturday night dirt track deal, and they'd be like, man, that guy's good. You know, you can tell a young kid it's good. And then you would get brought up along, you know, you would get like sign a developmental deal for like Gibbs or something like that, maybe drive like an ARCA car,
Yep.
and then maybe go up to like a Busch car, and then maybe up to the Cup if you were lucky and you were super good like the people that I mentioned. Well, nowadays, you have to pay for that. That comes with how much money does your dad have, or how many sponsors can you gather, and how far do you want to race? Very few have Kyle Larson and maybe Christopher Bell might have been the last two that really kind of got in on credit on their ability. Everything else is pretty much, you know, pay-per-view. So and in the arena of music and entertainment, there's some of that as well. Like, for instance, you know, if you're a rock promoter and you're promoting the Aerosmith concert at the Amalie Arena, when they did do that and when they resumed that, you would have like a list of 10 regional bands that were from here to Atlanta that were pretty good and will be the opening act. And you tell that little regional band, hey, listen, you know what? It's like, $1,500 and you guys get your own little dressing room and you get to open up for Whitesnake, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's you have to pay for that slot. It's $10,000 if you want to be the opening act for Aerosmith, and maybe you could recoup it on T-shirt sales and people going to download your stuff that happen to be there early enough to watch you play.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
So yesterday, I actually spoke to a news director at one of the local TV stations. And it's not who you think it is, Blitz, who used to work for me. It's a different person.
Okay.
And it's a woman.
Okay.
And I'm speaking to her about, because I get a call. I get actually on my AOL email, Blitz. Somebody at Fox 13 had my AOL email address.
Oh, Roy Leap called you?
And so they say, hey, could you get a hold of a news director here?
Okay.
So I spoke with that person. Wait till you hear how the news is going nowadays. Blitz, are you familiar with this?
I mean, depends on what you're going to say.
All right, well, I'll say that next.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Blitz, yesterday Kevin calls me, and he's like, listen, I sent you the attachment of the order, and what I think you should do is you probably should write up a little presser about, nationally syndicated, blah, 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 blah. The Love Sponge has had to file a restraining order against a crazed fan that listens to the show and has threatened to kill Bubba. It started out with a voicemail on a lawyer's machine. It then went to emailing one of the show one of the co-hosts of the show that's also a doctor. And then Kenneth Kimberlin shows up at Bubba's studios threatening to kill him. Attached are the judge's orders and the video from Bubba's YouTube channel showing Kenneth Kimberlin coming to the studios.
Right.
Any other information, contact, whatever. Like a press release, right?
Yes.
So I start working on one.
Right. Well, by the way, we sent one of those out last week.
Yeah, I know. And so I know we did. But Kevin's like, now we got this order and we need to
now it's legit.
Now it's legit. It's been officially ordered. You got you can actually tell news stations and whatever that you have been granted a 3-year restraining order from this dildo, et cetera, et cetera. It's, So I send it out to some local people that I know in the news business. And I get an email on my 1955 AOL email that says, call, Channel 13 and ask for this person. So I call up there. I call off my cell phone and I get a hold of this person. Now, I don't think this person is the news director, Blitz. I think this person might work for the news director.
Mm-hmm.
And this person says to me, "Hey, listen, have you posted this to PR Newswire?"
Right.
I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Have you posted this story to PR Newswire? Because we get the majority of our I'm sorry. Well, let me make sure I say this correctly. We get a lot of our news from PR Newswire.
Yep.
They kind of wrap it all up for us, and they distribute it, and that's who we have the person said, that's who we have a working agreement with is
Correct.
PR Newswire. I said, okay.
That's why you could go to like 40 different TV stations and their news stories are all the same.
Right. So, oh, yeah, it gets better. So I'm like, well, I just can't send this to you. She's like, no. Well, you can,
but it's not going to do any good.
I have to take it to my editor, having been aggregated through PR Newswire. I'm like, okay. She said, so I go to prnewswire.com. And, whoa. So you go and fill out for an account. It's $199 a year to be a member of prnewswire.com, just to be a member. So I want this story distributed yesterday. So I didn't have time for like the 24 or 48 hour approval process. So it gave you an 800 number to call if you would like to expedite your membership. So I have my debit card ready to go, the BRN debit card. I was going to sign up. So I get this guy on the phone. His name's Curtis. He's a great guy. And he goes, hello, are you the president of the company? And what's your company name? And I'm like, it's the Bubba Radio Network. Or we can call it Bubba Army Media, however, because I'm signing up for a new account, so I'm thinking, well, maybe I don't want to call it Bubba Radio Network. Maybe I want to call it, Bubba Army Media, or whatever. And so this guy's trying to figure out, Blitz, what type of package I need to buy, and what I kind of am. Am I a news station? Am I a radio show? Am I a streamer? He's trying to work through the process. So he goes, all right. So it's $199 a year, and I go, okay. I got my credit card ready to go.
Still hadn't told you the good news yet,
and he goes, okay. So where do you want this story sent to? And I go, well, everywhere.
Yeah, everybody.
He goes, well, how about we start with Florida? And I go, well, yeah. I mean, I'm heard like in 5 different markets or 4 different, however many, and from Fort Walton Beach to Tampa with a Orlando, Melbourne, yippee-yo kicker.
No, at this point, have you put your debit card away yet?
No, I still got my little red debit card out.
Okay.
And he goes, okay, well, Florida is going to be an additional $495.
Of course.
And I go, what? He goes, oh yeah, it's $199 just to be a member.
Yeah, just to get an account.
And then we charge you based on distribution.
Of course.
I go, he goes, would you like an attachment with that? I go, yeah, I want to attach the judge's order, and I'd like to include a link. And he goes, well, I will tell you, links are free. I was like, oh, okay. He goes, but an attachment is an additional $295.
Yes.
And I go, so you're...
Oh, yeah.
He goes,
oh, yeah. They've been doing this racket for a long time.
So I'm like, all right, well, listen, I got to call my accountant to see if I can even, swing this. So I'm not calling him back. So this is how it works now.
Oh, yeah.
These television and radio, television and news. Well, there's hardly newspapers left, but these
news outlets.
These news outlets have agreements with these aggregating news sites, and they really only will accept the majority. They prioritize stuff that comes from them because PR. This is the way I got to figure it out. PR Newswire is probably giving them a kickback to use them somewhat exclusively.
Well, so what they'll say is we'll provide you good guests if you use our material exclusively. So they do what's called satellite media tours, where they'll have an actor and actress sit in a room and go from station to station to station to station.
And if you've used a bunch of their stories, then you get Christian Slater to promote the new season of Dirty John.
And then to add to that, though, the movie companies and stuff will pay PR Newswire or whoever it is to provide all that.
Oh yeah, I was looking at some of the prices online after I hung up on with the guy.
Yeah.
And it's $10,000. It could be if you were a movie theater, if you were Lionsgate Films and you're you're
Oh, yeah.
promoting the new deal, it could be like $15,000-$20,000.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
So
peanuts to them,
that
if
was-
you're a massive company.
when I worked for the satellite uplink company back a few years ago, we would do satellite media tours, and a lot of times it was multiple days, and it was, to rent the satellite time and the trucks and stuff. I mean, you're talking, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a day.
Right.
Jesus.
And they're like, oh, yeah. But
Well, I mean, a lot of them cared, but they still paid it.
so Kevin calls me before I start this journey. He goes,
Right.
so here's what you write up something real nice. You put the link, put the judge's order, and then you call PR, and then you go to prnewswire.com, or my firm use it.
Mm-hmm.
Get an account, and it's a few dollars. And I go like, he's like, I don't know, like 17, 18, 20 bucks, something like that. I'm like, Kevin, I did not call Kevin back and let him know that if I wanted to get my news story out, that Kenneth Kimberlin has now been given a 3-year restraining order after having threatened my life, Bubba the Love Sponge, with a link to my YouTube and the judge's order attachment, it was going to be almost $1,000.
Jesus.
Right.
And I was like,
But that's what a lot of people will pay to get their story out.
yeah. So anyway, the Channel 13 girl gave me the good news. She's like, well, if it comes through PR Newswire, we'll probably use it.
This is why you build, like your own brand. That's why YouTube's so important, Instagram, all that stuff, and then people can just get their news there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why, you should put that on.
I know. Can I send you the video I took yesterday?
But that reiterates it reiterates what
It
I
really
was
does reiterate your point.
It really does.
It does.
Anna Hummel does nothing for the brand.
Hey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've been
no.
saying that for years.
Oh.
No. I don't
I
mean
see what you're
being
saying.
distributed on Anna Hummel's platforms
Yeah.
does nothing for the brand.
Oh, right, of course.
Anna Hummel being on my platform is great for the brand. Why you think you're here, bitch? And by the way, your tries look good right now.